Good evening to you all. This is Kumar Swami Mahavidyalaya Avsar running daily international conferences. We are reaching towards Golden Jubilee 100 events of this international conferences within few days. So I welcome first our today's resource person Wilmarie Madam, who is from North Carolina, United States. We have invited her to speak on navigating careers equipping students. Title will be given by her at first, and then she will start her speech. So first of all, I would like to welcome you from my organizing team, all the members, those who are joined here. And as a part of this international conferences, you accepted our invitation, and the topic which is related to our education field, because mostly we are here teachers, this topic is more useful to all. Now with this brief introduction, I welcome you, I welcome all the participants, those who are joined here. I request you to start your speech. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction. Good evening to all of you. It's morning here, so we're in different time zones, but this is pretty amazing, pretty exciting. Thank you so much for having me today. Just a little bit about myself. I am originally from Puerto Rico, and I've been in the United States since 2014. I was in the Army, U.S. Army, for 12 years, and decided to leave after 12 years. I had twin daughters that are 3 years old, and so I left as a captain in a human resources environment. So I had a lot of experience with delegating soldiers, managing people, understanding their needs, and also making sure that they were ready for the army workforce, in personally and paperwork wise, and obviously fit to go out there, fight and win. After that, I started working with a tech company, which gave me a little bit of background in the importance of incorporating technology today. We'll talk a little bit about that throughout the presentation. I was there for 2 years, and I was a sales manager, covered the whole state of North Carolina, where I currently reside. And after that, I became director of operations for a staffing company, which is great. And what is great about that is that it provided me the opportunity to understand how to place people in good jobs, and understanding the background of those people, where they come from, what they like, what they don't like, and how we can incorporate that into the workforce so we understand where they're going to perform their best, not only for themselves, but for the clients as well. And when we talk about that, we can definitely incorporate students, and that's when you come in as teachers, understanding the population of students that you have, and how they differ from each other. What are their different goals, not only professional goals, but personal goals, most importantly, right? Because they're in this trajectory where they maybe don't know exactly what they want. They think they know what they want, but most of the time, when they are actually presented with the information of what would it take to be what they're actually thinking about doing, they just decide to go a different path or a different journey because it doesn't meet the lifestyle that they're looking for, which is where technology comes in. It gives you so many opportunities, for the students to be in different styles of workforce, either a hybrid workforce where they work at the office and from home, or a fully remote workforce where they work only from home, or those students like me that are very personable, they love speaking to people like I'm doing today, and really do want that office lifestyle, or want that leadership lifestyle or coaching lifestyle. So how are we gonna individually understand where the students want to go and how we can help them get there. So that's a little bit of the things that we're going to talk about today. And after I do my presentation, I welcome you all for questions. So we'll leave questions for the end, and any discussions that we would like to have. So, with that being said, our title is Navigating Careers and Equipping Students. And we're going to touch on 5 points today, and let me know if you can see. I think you can see now. So, our 5 key points will be understanding the changing work landscape. So, I just talk a little bit about that, about the hybrid, remote, the in office, how the technology comes in. We're going to talk a little bit about integrating career readiness into the curriculum. Promoting career exploration and guidance, fostering soft skills, which is my favorite one and most important. We're going to be a little bit longer on that one. And then building partnerships, so network. So it is important for everyone. How do you think I'm here today? I'm here today because of the network, because I created a brand for myself, because I promoted myself on LinkedIn. That's how I met Dr. Bedcar here. So many things that apply not only for us and adults that already understand the career path that we want, but how we can help those students get there. I think is the most important thing. And that's exactly when you come in as a teacher, how you're going to provide those tools, resources to make those kids successful. So, understanding the changing work landscape. And I understand that it might be a little different. I'm in the United States, you are in India. So I know that a lot of things might be different from my environment than your environment. But I just want to talk about how you can understand your environment and how important is doing research, how important is building that network as a teacher, in order for you to gather those tools that you can provide to your students. Not only to gather the tools, but also how can you be a mentor? The only way that you can be a mentor is if you do research yourself, right? If you understand different areas of the work environment that you can provide to those students, because you've been there, you've done that, and you know how it is. um, so, market trends. The market is currently changing. There's a lot of things being included now. With I see a hand. We're gonna leave all questions to the end. If you have any questions right now, so I don't want you to forget the questions, okay? If you have any questions at the moment, just put them in the chat, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll go over questions. But that way, I know that your question is there, and you don't forget it at the time that I'm done. Is that good? And if you're good, you can put your hand down and then put the question in the chat. Okay. Yes. Yes. I'll continue. Okay. So, market trends. So, when we talk about market trends, not only how the market is evolving, how the business are evolving, what are they utilizing with this technology growing? What are the key points that business are incorporated into their workforce that you can incorporate with your students so they are prepared? Is that a system? We have CRM systems, which are, systems that we utilize mostly for appointments, for sales, for next steps, for our famous pipeline. And so, what systems are being integrated into the market where you are today that you can provide a class to your students to make them understand the trends that are out there? So when they go out there and they actually do an interview, they're like, oh, I absolutely know this system. I know how to work it left and right. And even if I don't know, I am a little bit knowledgeable of it. And that will give them key points when they are trying to go out in a new workforce, a new civilian world that they have no idea what they're experiencing about. So, student skills. So, Skills can be anything from leadership, from communication, from team building, specific to the job. So if it's a project manager job, what type of project management will they be doing? Is there any equipment they need to know about? Is there any solutions, any systems? And then when it comes to communication, leadership, and those kind of soft skills, are you role playing those? Are you having them get into a conversational, maybe debate of different topics that are occurring in this market trends, and they can understand different perspective? Are you having them stand up and at least even introduce themselves? So many people are so afraid of speaking, and that will show not only in a situation, it will show in an interview, it will show in a moment where they feel intimidated in the workforce or the workplace. So how can you promote those soft skills right now? How can you practice that so they feel comfortable around people? They understand that they don't have the answer. They can be confident to say, I'm going to research the answer and I'll be back and bring you a good answer. We have a lot of kids today in high school in this environment where I'm at, where they are so afraid to say, I don't know, that they will say anything. And sometimes that makes it even worse, because you know that they have no idea what they're talking about, and they completely just took themselves out of that running line of going to that goal and getting that job. And with that comes adaptability. How do you adapt to different situations? I'm part of a lot of different committees here in my environment. I work for the workforce committee. So I actually work with the committee that does all the job fairs, all the resources, all the mock interviews. We bring all the employers together to help these kids, as soon as they get out of high school or college, get that job that they're actually looking for. So with that comes adaptability to their environment, adaptability to the workplace, and adaptability to the people that they have around. You know, myself, I'm adaptable to you right now. I cannot talk specifically about my environment because you're not in my environment. So that will be information that will do you no good. So I have to look at the big picture, right? But if I'm in an environment where I am close to my market area, the business that I have in my area, then I can be more specific with the marketing trends, the highs, the lows, the quantifiable information that will show how many kids are actually looking for specific jobs. But that is all the research that you would need to do on your end to make sure that those kids are efficient when they leave high school and actually go to college or go to the workforce. Lifelong learning. I love books. I love reading books. This technology has changed so much. The power of reading is going away. Kids are dependent on a tablet, on an iPad, on a TV. They are missing the skills of literacy. They're missing the skills of adaptability because they don't have that much interaction with the outside world anymore. Because all day they're in their phones, they're in their tablets, they're not looking left and right, they're not talking, they're not networking. They are missing the people part, which is the most important part when you want to be successful in the workforce. So putting or incorporating those now and providing those resources, and you as teacher being that mentor, give them a book, make them write something about a chapter of a book, or give a group a book and make them talk about different topics or discuss a chapter or make a debate on different ideas that come out of a book. It can be a leadership book, it can be a workforce group, it can be anything related that will provide the tools to those students to be successful outside of the workforce. Um, but I tell you, not all of them are gonna apply the resources or even keep utilizing them. But that's not on you, that's on the student, right? So as long as you touch one person, you don't know the importance of touching one person that can then touch another person and then another person, and you keep creating that effect in the long run. So don't be discouraged if most of the students at a specific time are not even paying attention or don't want to talk about it or feel like the assignment is stupid. They're gonna feel that way because they don't want to do the extra work. But we GMG, could you mute your mic, please? I can hear the feedback. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Um, so providing those resources, providing those engagements, providing that opportunity for them to speak about something that they have an ideology of, um, provide all those little resources where they're going to feel like they belong. They're going to feel like they're important. They're going to feel like they have a say. And when people feel important and people have a say, we have this thing here where we call it, we have 80% of the standard, right? And then we have 20% of the superstars. And usually the superstars are the ones that are wearing 5 different hats. And I want to help the teacher. And I want to be in the student council. And I want to go to this club. And I want to go get this done. And I want to talk about this today. Concentrate on those. Hear me out. When these people go to the workforce, the people are going to concentrate on their top performers. They're not going to concentrate on the 80% standard, because the 80% standard is the one that as soon as they get a different opportunity, they going to leave you. The 20% top performer, if you care for them, if you show them they're important, if you reward them, they are going to be loyal and they are going to bring more top performers, because they say that you hang around with people that are great. It says a lot about who you are. You hang out with people that are not so great, good luck. It's all about the network. It's all about the people that want to do the work, the people that independently of you telling them, you have created that little spark in them that they are like, I want to go read this book and I want to talk about this week. So let's do it. And the 80% are over there complaining because what? Because they never had the idea, because they never cared, because they don't want to do the work. So as a teacher, you need to understand where you need to concentrate most of your time and efficiency and most of your resources. You cannot make your whole class a top performer. You're going to get one or two, but make sure that those one or two are leaving your classroom and telling the world, I had this amazing teacher that taught me this and this and that. And that's the reason why I'm here today. You don't understand the gratification, at least for me, that brings when I know that I've been a mentor to someone that in the long run will come back and say, because of you, I'm here. And I thank you for that, because you put me through the hard work that I didn't want to do. I am here and I thank you for that. Okay. So I think I've touched on a lot of these here, right? For our second point, integrating career readiness, we talk about real world applications. So we talk about that. We talk about role play. We talk about speaking exercises, collaborating project, community service. There's a lot of nonprofit out there. You want to make sure that your kids have a presence in the community, because that's how they build their network. When they go out in the workforce, somebody already knows what they are capable of, and they are already studying that kid. It's like a kid that goes and plays baseball and has those little people that are in the, in the backstage looking for that next star, and they pick them out of the game that they never thought they would have been called out, and they became the Hall of Fame player. So make sure your kids are out there making a presence. A good presence in the community is always very important. Uh, Promoting career exploration. We talk about this. Be a mentor, be a coach. You need to research yourself about the things that will make them successful when they go out in the workforce. You need to be out there talking to businesses. You need to be out there engaging with CEOs, with economic development, with all the places that will bring some tools to these children that you can pass on for them to be successful when they leave your classroom. Okay. Make sure that they have different opportunities where they can apply these. Make sure that if they are in a community service, let some of them do something that they want to do that will make them stand out from everybody else. And sometimes that means letting them fail, because when you fail, you learn. You actually don't fail. So sometimes even your top students and top performers will fail, but they will learn from that failing and they will do way better the next time. It's like a person that does speaking engagements. The first time is horrible. The next time it will get better. So understand that as well and give them the opportunity to be open, adaptable, and free. Don't try to micromanage your students to make them do what you want them to do. Let them fail, okay? Fostering soft skills, mock interviews, mock interviews, mock interviews. Go rent a or getting a place in a classroom. Put different teachers in the same classroom that have different backgrounds and have those kids come in with a resume and have them sit down and you interview them like you want them in your workforce, either if that's for students that want to become teachers or policemen or firefighters, or they just want to be in an office environment and work in human resources. Make sure that these kids are doing that role playing and they're asking questions, and you're asking them questions to give them constructive criticism on how they can get better. That will help you also make sure that you are giving them the tools and you're correcting those tools when they leave your classroom. Okay. uh, Builds them confidence. Once you start doing mock interviews and role play, that guy that was shy, that didn't want to talk at first because he thought he couldn't make it, he's actually the superstar. And because he already built that confidence by doing a mock interview with you, once he leaves the workforce, he's going to have no problem speaking to anyone else that wants to interview them or interview him or her to get that job that they're looking for. So make them practice, make them role play with each other. Okay. Um, I don't know what my time, I think I have about, correct me if I'm wrong, about 5-10 minutes. And I want to make sure that we have discussion and questions afterwards. So building partnerships, it comes again to the network, not only for the classroom, but for yourself as well. Make sure that you as a teacher have a presence, because it's like when your kids are little, and mommy goes gets coffee and here comes the baby and says, "Oh, mommy, I want my coffee." The kids are watching you. So if you're not that example for your students right now, you better change that and be that example, because some of them are looking at you because you are actually their inspiration and they want to be like you. So make sure that you are reflecting what you want your students to be, and make sure that your values are always number one. Your character and integrity are number two, and your mentorship, care, and coaching are your last to your students. Um, if we have any questions, I'm open to discussion. So let me know. Yes. I think they're
Hello.
all.
Good evening, Dr. Bedkar, sir, principal, sir. Good evening. I think good morning for you, ma'am, over there. Wonderful presentation you have made today. And a number of facets you have talked about, and especially regarding the careers and, how we can develop the capabilities. I think, the one word is there, what is called as proactiveness. Hello. Am I audible over there?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. You said
So,
proactiveness.
proactiveness and the inner zeal, which is very important to develop one's career. What I feel that you
Yes,
said, various type of things, lifestyle you have talked about, how we can, sometimes we are wasting our time in something, which is fruitless. It happens many of the times. And then we
yes.
found that what career I was searching for, it is not great. And then I go for another one. But in that timeline, I think the very important, precious thing that is the time is lost. So it becomes a little confusion for the people who are, emerging uh, to search their careers. It becomes little difficult. So I think they should have some kind of a guidelines. I'm thinking many of the students over here, they are confused what to do. And nowadays there are a lot many options in India also and in abroad also. So how people, will choose the correct one, how it fits to their own way of thinking, what are their interests, because that is more important rather than, just searching a career and, going behind blindly. I think some interest, that into of learning something and some kind of sense of achievement should be there. So, what do you think about this? Please comment on this, ma'am. Otherwise, your presentation was very wonderful. You have made a point very clear. But that is my doubt. Many of the time it happens. The people, I'm a doctor, and many times people are talking about their careers. So, how exactly we can direct them? Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you in my experience, and I recently had an experience. I there's a formula that's we I go about this called formula for success. Is attitude plus effort plus skills equals performance. So you can have the skills, but if you don't have the attitude, you're not gonna put the effort. And if you don't have the attitude and you don't have the effort, and that is a negative on your equation, guess what? Your performance is gonna be negative. It happened to me. I had an amazing opportunity, amazing salary. Um, I wasn't happy. So if I wasn't happy, that meant that I didn't want to perform. And that was not me because I know I'm a top performer. But in that situation, I didn't want to perform. So it's important when you talk to your students about this adaptability and the understanding of the different paths and careers, which is why job fairs to me is an amazing resource for students because they have the opportunity to talk a little bit about each different workforce style. um, Make sure that they are doing something that they like and they're happy about, not just because it's gonna give them money. And that comes on you to let them know now the difference of that and show them how a happy performer is a top performer, and a person that can have the most skill but is not happy is definitely not gonna perform. So regardless, that peace of mind and that heart to do the work and wake up every day and say, I want to do this and I can't wait to go to work, that's what's gonna indicate that that's your pathway.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. That is a very important thing. I think that is only a spirit, that will build you. And wonderfully you placed here. Thank you very much for your excellent presentation today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening to all. Uh, uh, Thank you, Principal Dr. M. Bedkar, sir. Convener of this conference is Dr. Prakash Karad, sir. Prashant, sir. It is a very nice presentation, ma'am.
Thank you.
Uh, uh, it is a very informative and knowledgeable session. I have one question, ma'am.
Yes.
Explain professional and soft skill development.
So professional skill development will come with example, the mock interviews, making sure that they are provided the resources. So you can have one day in your classroom, you can even do a mock interview, but you got to understand what comes before the mock interview, right? So a good presence, so good attire, good resume. So they have to have a paper that explains what they want to do, what they're proficient on, and what their skills are, right? And they're gonna sit with that in front of you. What is their gestures? Are they smiling? Are they angry? Are they like, I don't know about this? All of these key points matter when you go into the professional world. When we're talking about soft skills and we're talking about communication, leadership, teamwork, that's when debates comes in. That's when talking about a chapter in a book and standing up in front of the classroom and even talking about yourself and what would you want to do. That's when those soft skills are developed. When you put them in community service or in engagements with different employers in the area, and they have to adapt to different personalities, and they have to figure out how they're going to portray themselves and how are they going to talk and how are they going to ask questions. Those are the soft skills that they are going to develop within the network, within communication, within collaboration. And then for the professional, again, you can do that yourself by you making sure that they have a pathway on how to create a resume, how to get dressed correctly for depending the job that they're looking for. What are the different gestures? How are you gonna utilize your hands? Are you gonna have your hands crossed and I don't want to talk about this? Or are you gonna be susceptible and personable to the person that is interviewing you? And those are the skills that are gonna say a lot about you as a professional outside of the classroom. Let me know if that answered your question.
Wonderful, wonderful explanation, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Very good evening, ma'am, and very good evening,
Hi.
sir. And I am very thankful for this series of presentation that has been running since long. And previously, one person asked that, and you define about the success like if somebody want to get success, that they have to make a combination of these three elements in their life, like attitude, skill, and effort. So, skill and effort, these two elements that can be easily traced. But what about the attitude that is very difficult to figure out in the way the student can get success or towards the journey they are following? Will you please light on that how we can manage their attitude to the right track?
So when we talk about attitude, that's basically the person itself, themselves, correct? But when we talk about attitude, I also go to the point: are they happy on what they're doing? I also go to the point of, are you as a teacher making sure that your student feels important so he comes with the right attitude because he thinks that he's influential and part of the group? Are you making sure that you're taking time to understand the personal goals of your students to make sure that you can apply those in a different classroom environment so every students feel like they have a part of themselves included in your environment, in your coaching, in your mentorship. All of these things will definitely increase the attitude when you're making sure that your students feel part of the group, when your students feels like they have a voice. That's why I said earlier, let them fail. Don't micromanage them. Let them learn the hard way, because that will make them understand that sometimes when you say, hey, A and B equals C, and they're like, oh no, C equals A. Okay, go do it. When you come back with that answer, let me know. But the answer you already know is going to be C. So let them do it, because that's going to put in them, he trusts me. He's letting me do something. He's letting me be free. He's letting me be creative. That will increase the attitude of anyone in the classroom, in the workplace, in a network environment. Make them feel like they belong.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I had a wonderful time with all of you. I appreciate you. Go bless your students. Go get it. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Informative
Thank you.
session, ma'am. Informative information. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.